folks. Welcome to Spooky Appalachia. This week I've got a fan on. She goes by the name Virtrolplays. Hopefully I pronounced that right.
Perfect.
And she's got pretty interesting story from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I think you said it happened in 2014 or 15.
Correct. 2014.
Okay. And there were some experiences going on in your household when you guys were remodeling an attic, I
Yes.
believe?
Yeah,
Okay.
all the activity centered around my son, who was 4 years old at the time. And it started around the time that we were remodeling our attic, which was going to be his bedroom. So, what happened originally was once construction started, I took him upstairs to see what would be his new bedroom. And as soon as he got up to the top of the stairs, I was holding his hand and he just started saying hi. And he kept repeating hi, hi, hi. And I looked at him and he was like, "Why won't he say hi to me?" And I was like, "Okay, we're just going to go back downstairs because that
Oh
freaked me
my
out."
gosh.
Um, so I didn't really think anything of it. And of course, I was home alone with him at the time. And sometimes it's scary being the adult in the house. You have to make the adult decisions. It's
Yeah.
definitely a moment that I looked around like, who else is around me to support me here? But um, eventually, as construction continued, we started to have more events like that. And then the most extreme event was maybe about a month into the construction. It was the middle of the night, and my husband was working, of course. And I could hear my son in the other room, who, again, mind you, is 4, laughing. So, 3 o'clock in the morning, he's laughing. I'm like, okay, no good can come of this
Yep.
because he has to be doing something naughty, right? So I
Yep.
go in, and he's standing in the middle of his bedroom, and all the lights are on. So I look at him and I just say, "What are you doing?" And he said that he woke up because the man that lives upstairs, which was the attic where the construction was happening, came and turned all the lights on. So I just said, "Oh, that's strange. Let's go back to bed." And he
Wow.
elaborated more on it the next day and told me that the person that lives upstairs, who is a ghost, is also sometimes a statue. And I wasn't sure what to make of that. And then as the months went on, he kept adding more and more to the story, like, "Oh, I found out how the man upstairs died. He died when there was music playing in the background." And he would describe like drowning scenarios and just all of these things that you would think a 4-year-old wouldn't have knowledge of.
Wow.
And a little bit more background about our house also is that because we live in a Pittsburgh neighborhood, it's a fairly old home. And we were told when we were touring the house, the inspector said that there used to be an apartment in the attic and there was a sink and everything up there. And he described the apartment, even though he had no knowledge of there ever having been anyone that lived up there, which was just mind boggling. And I didn't really have many experiences with what I would consider a ghost. Most of them have come from him. But I did at one point when all of this was happening and I was probably at my most freaked out and panicking, I did hear someone say, "Excuse me," and I felt someone touch my shoulder, and everything kind of calmed down after that.
Huh. Do you still live there?
Yes.
Has anything happened to you or him since?
He had one more episode once construction was done, and we were in his room, we were reading bedtime stories, and he looked over my shoulder and sat up in bed and started angrily yelling, "I see you! I see you!" And then eventually I calmed him down and he was able to go to bed, and he refuses to sleep in the attic now. He doesn't even go up there, but he doesn't have any memory of any of these things happening. When they ask him, he gets really scared about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
What'd your husband say about all this? Did you tell him?
Yeah, I've told him, and he's of course skeptical, as am I. I'm a sane,
Yeah.
rational person who is a scientist, so all of this seems very wild, but it's hard to believe unless you are here. There was one incident where there were a lot of people here, where he came down from the attic when he was still sleeping up there, and it was pretty late at night. It was probably around midnight, but we had people over for a dinner party, so we were down talking, and then he had gone to bed. But then he came down from the attic and he was giggling, but he also had a nosebleed and he was leaving bloody handprints everywhere and said something about the man in the attic, but I couldn't understand what he was saying. And then that was terrifying and everyone was so horrified. I was like, you see what I have to
Wow.
live with?
Wow. Yeah, my son's he's 3. I definitely know how you feel there with that.
Yeah. 3 is the perfect age. 3 to 5, I think, is whenever you have the most activity of people reporting seeing ghosts, so I'm glad that he
Yeah,
grew
he
out of
talks
it.
yeah, my son talks about ghosts all the time, but we brush it off. He says that there's a ghost outside standing sometimes.
Oh my goodness.
We just kind of shrug it off, but it does make you wonder where
It
it came
really
from.
does.
We've never talked about ghosts either around
Yeah,
here.
that's how I felt. I never really brought up anything like that, and, I always wonder if the man in the attic had some kind of connection to the Titanic, because early on, he had an obsession with the Titanic too, and I
Huh.
had never told him about the Titanic, like, how would he know about that?
That's so strange.
Yeah.
I think one of the creepiest parts was when you said he was like a statue.
Yeah, what
Like
does that
I could
mean?
just picture this like an old man standing in a bed in an like a bedroom attic type thing, frozen like a
Yeah,
statue. That's crazy. It sounds like a residual type haunting.
it does.
They
All
say
the bits and pieces,
sometimes,
yeah.
yeah, they say that sometimes that doing construction and stuff on houses can stir that kind of stuff up. So who knows? Who knows? It's
I was
definitely
very
creepy.
thankful. I was thankful that it calmed down after
Yeah,
the
that's
construction.
that's really good. It didn't sound like it did any harm either, so that's
Mhm.
also good.
Agreed. I had some local ghost hunters offer to come in and look around, but I didn't wanna stir anything up. I was like, "No, thank
Yeah,
you."
I would be afraid if it wasn't no harm was coming or wasn't
Yes.
really disturbing anything to bring them in and stir it up more. Definitely, I would.
Yeah, we lost some sleep, but that was about it. So if that's the worst that happens, then I'll
Yeah,
take it.
yeah, and at that age, you lose all kinds of sleep, which I do pretty frequently now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing this story. I know you have a Twitch channel that I come by and check out every once in a while. Do you want to tell my viewers about your Twitch channel? Maybe they can
I
come
would
check
love
you
to.
out.
Yeah, thank you so much. I do
Uh-huh.
stream occasionally. My Twitch name is Virtrolplays. And I like to stream point and click adventure games, role playing games, really anything that strikes my fancy, but I love a good story in a video game. So I'm looking for some suggestions on what to play. We also have a podcast,
Yeah,
onceuponawasteland.com,
I've
found
seen that.
wherever podcasts are found. And most of my time goes to that rather than streaming, but I do stream occasionally. So thank you for the support.
Hmm. And yeah, definitely be sure and check her out. And um, again, thanks for sharing this story. If you have a story you'd like to share, you can email me, spookyappalachia@gmail.com. You can submit a story using our Google form. And newly added, just of a couple days ago, I started a Facebook group, Spooky Appalachia, where you can share your stories. A couple people have shared some stories on there already. And big thanks to our Patreons who support us: Adam, Alvin, Brandon, Charles, Chris, Danielle, Donald, Jeff, Johnny, Jordan, Julia, Linda, Misty, Sheryl, Taylor, and our content creator Patreon, Scott, who's an author. You can check out his link tree in the description below. Werewolf Radar, they're a paranormal comedy podcast. Their links in the description, and our very own Jared King TV. His link to his YouTube is in the description as well. I will put a link to your Twitch channel and podcast in the description also. Does that
Thank
sound
you.
good? Yeah,
That's
no problem.
fantastic.
Get me some links and I'll add those to the description as well. And well, thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment and all that jazz. And we'll catch you in the next one.